Welcome to Coruzant Technologies, home of the Digital Executive Podcast.
Welcome to the Digital Executive. Today's guest is Sarah Vilenskiy. Sarah Vilenskiy is the founder and CEO of Blossom Essentials, a natural and clean hydration company for chronic dry and irritated skin. Sarah comes from an entrepreneurial upbringing and has always longed to own her own company. She spent most of her years in the digital marketing space, learning and developing her e-commerce know-how until she was able to connect her love for entrepreneurship with her need for truly clean but effective dry skin products. Well, good afternoon, Sarah. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely, Sarah. I appreciate this. And I love traversing the globe. But, right now I know you're hailing out of the great state of Texas. But really what jazzes me every day is talking to somebody new and hearing their story. And then with your permission, I get to share that story with the world. So it's so awesome. And I love talking to entrepreneurs. So Sarah, let's jump right into these questions here and talk a little bit about your background in marketing, business development. You're an entrepreneur, advisor, now the founder and CEO of Blossom Essentials. Could you share with our audience the secret to your career growth and what inspires you?
Yeah, great question. It's kind of funny. I think the reason I keep growing, if you will, is more related to my inability to sit still. I get bored pretty easily. And so I always found myself wanting to get to that next step until ultimately I feel entrepreneurship is that final step where you just can't go any further because you're constantly dealing with something new and trying to grow. At that point, it's like, I'm no longer thinking in the sense of like, okay, I started a business. If it doesn't work, I'm going to go back and work for somebody else. I've never really thought that way. It's okay, if this doesn't work, what's that next project? Because, ultimately, I'm at the point where I need to make this work. And it also comes down to the fact that I think I'm quite bad at working for people. And so it's always that mindset of how do I make this work, or what do I do next to make this work? It's never going backwards and saying I'll just go back and work for somebody else. And I think that just comes down to my personality and my background. My entire family is kind of those entrepreneur mindsets, and so we all have that same way of thinking.
Thank you for sharing. And everybody has a unique story. I love it how, you're kind of drawn to that entrepreneurship side of things. So I appreciate that share. So Sarah, maybe you could dive in a bit and tell us about that defining moment you decided to take the leap into entrepreneurship. Because, you worked that corporate, job for a while. Maybe you can share that story.
Yeah, I was at the point in my career where, again, I was getting bored. And so I was looking for that next thing. And that's not to say that the companies I worked for were boring or, they weren't helping me progress my career. It's just my personal mentality of like, I need to get to that next thing. And so at the time, my partner or my future partner, who was a friend of mine, came to me and said, let's start a business. And from there, it kind of jump-started my entrepreneurship path. It was definitely scary. I had no idea what I was doing at the time, just because I had kind of done everything else other than entrepreneurship or, really starting from scratch. But he bringing this idea to the table, ultimately we're no longer partners, but it allowed me to give me that kick in the butt to say, okay, I'm going to do this and then never look back. So there have been a lot of ups and downs since then and, new partners and equity partners and whatnot. But ultimately, I am very grateful to him, and we are still friends to this day because he led me, or he gave me that belief in myself when I, when not many entrepreneurs, when they're just starting out, have that to really get this off the ground. So I'm grateful.
Thank you. And, we all have that story. We either have a mentor or somebody, a partner, somebody that has helped kind of push us along. It's like going to the gym. It's a lot easier if you've got a partner that'll go to the gym with you every day, right? Versus doing it alone. So I totally get it. Thank you. And Sarah, we're a technology platform. We focus on emerging tech, but maybe we could ask you a little bit about tech. Are you leveraging any new emerging technologies in your business? And if not, maybe you found a cool tool or app you might share with us today?
So we're definitely leveraging new technologies that I think are really useful. But when you get back to the basics, I think that's actually the most important part of your business. And I know that's probably not the answer you're looking for, but I think organization and making sure your drives, your folders are super neat so that you can scale, so that you can share the correct folders with the necessary people, and they're not spending hours trying to just find that one document or that one photo. I think is really critical to a business. So for us, when we put in that initiative, it really allowed us to scale. And that was a few years ago, and we haven't looked back. Our folders are as neat and tidy as possible to this day. So we take that very seriously. So again, it's really just going back to the basics and making sure that everything is very clean.
Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate the share on that. And Sarah, last question. Is there something you might be able to share from your career experience that would be helpful for those looking to grow the career in either marketing or entrepreneurship?
Yeah, I love saying this because I've personally dealt with this myself, where I will look at other health and wellness businesses or D2C companies and say, I'm not growing as quickly as them, or I'm not doing as well as them. And that's just, I don't want to curse, but that's just, not true, because everybody has their own path to success and everybody has their own timelines. And if you start comparing yourself, you're never going to feel like you're doing enough, and you're never going to believe in yourself enough to get to that end result that you're looking for. And so I think it's really important to understand that everybody's paths are different, whether you're looking at it in the business side or you're as yourself, like as a CEO. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. Really take it slow if you need to. Some companies took a very long time. I mean, look at Amazon, for example. And so just remember that you're doing great. Believe in yourself, believe in your team, and know that you will get there. And just because you took a little bit longer to get there doesn't mean that you are any less successful than that last business.
Awesome. I love that. And you do have to have that conviction to continue and persistence to continue on. Sometimes it can be a struggle, but I appreciate that the share. We've got a lot of entrepreneurs in our audience that will certainly take these gems to heart. So thank you again, Sarah. And Sarah, it was a pleasure having you on today, and I look forward to speaking with you real soon.
Likewise. Thank you so much.
Bye for now.